This is Steve from Boxing UK. Absolutely delighted to be joined by Natasha Jonas. How are you, Natasha?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
First of all, I have to start by congratulating you, Natasha. You were nominated for the British Boxing Board of Control Contest of the Year yesterday.
I've seen. I've had good responses as well. We're up there with some amazing bouts, so it's always nice to be recognised as well.
It is. Have you got the case for why yours should be the winner?
I mean, hopefully the boxing spoke for itself. That's it.
It did. Before we move on, can we quickly look back on that fight? I know you've talked about it to death, but I just want to know, how many times have you watched it back? Are you even more convinced now that you won that fight?
It's probably one of the only fights that I have watched back. And yeah, I thought on the night I'd won it by a round, and I thought, and that was obviously with Joe's input as well, telling me round from round as I went along. But when I watch it back, I thought I won it by 2, maybe possibly 3. So
it was such a good fight, and straight after Natasha, Eddie said there was an immediate rematch, and it never happened.
Never was happening.
Why do you reckon? Why do you reckon we've never had it? Jonas Harper 2?
I mean, they say it's because they had the mandatory. Then they say it's because I didn't sign the contract. Then they say whatever else it was. Basically, everyone can draw their own assumptions, but it was never, ever going to be immediate, ever. Even if I would have signed the deal that I was going to sign with Matchroom, the 3-fight deal, Harper was always fight number 3. So I was still a year down the line, at least, from having the fight. It was never, ever going to be the immediate rematch that it was said that it would be and promised that it would be. So,
yeah, I mean, obviously we know there's things in the pipeline, but would you still like to put that wrong right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not so much of me putting a right wrong. I just want to prove myself again. But yeah, I'd love to have the fight again. You know, I've always said anything from 130 to 140 is possible for me. So, 130, 135, 140, whoever's got them belts, that's where I want to be. And I came back as a pro to be a world champion, and I believe that I'm good enough to do that. So,
before we move on, Natasha, can I ask you the same question we asked Callum Johnson a couple of weeks ago? What's your thoughts on the criticism both you and Callum are getting about not getting the fight, that it's all Joe Gallagher's fault? Because that just seems to be chucked around all the time, doesn't it?
I know, and you know what? Like, Joe just laughs it off, and like for us, it doesn't matter because we know what goes on, and it's got nothing to do with Joe. What I do, what I decide. I mean, to be fair, Joe is not even in my part of my management team. I'm with obviously MTK, so them conversations between, boxing promoter go to MTK, and then MTK come to me with the offer, and I decide whether I want to take that offer or not. And Joe's not really involved at all in them sense. We just go to Joe with the dates and say, right, we've got this date, can we do it? And that's it really. So, I mean, there's nothing I can say. It's nonsense. It's stupid because, and all it's because of Joe. Well, they still managed to get the Callum fight done. So, there's still other fights that have been done and being talked about. And, there's other fights that I think are coming down the line that they're going to work together. So how is it Joe's fault?
Exactly. Well answered, Natasha. For what it's worth, we get on well with Joe, so I always like to ask that question to get the other side of what gets put out on social media. Right, I understand there's a big announcement coming anytime now, and I know you can't say too much, but what can you tell us? Or who, when, where, world title?
To be honest, them details haven't been decided yet, as far as I know. Or at this present time right now, the finer details are being sorted, and I've agreed. So if the other side agree, then it's on. No date is fixed as of yet. But yeah, it's out of 2 dates, and hopefully it's going to be announced really soon.
Okay. Can I chuck one date at you? And it's the one that we've heard, and it might be wrong, but we've heard you're going to be on the Chisora Parker undercard. Is that a possibility?
That is one of the possible dates, yeah.
But there's nothing else that you can tell us yet. Right. Can I ask you a completely unrelated question, Natasha? Is there anybody out there that you would like to fight?
Anyone. I've kind of dusted the Obanov loss off now, and I've always said I'm world level, and I needed to prove myself, and I think I've done that. So now I'm just I'm not going to turn my nose down at any opportunity. And I know people say, well, you didn't do the free fight deal. Well, it wasn't right. And just because I want an opportunity and I want to prove myself doesn't mean that I'm going to get less to do it. I still want to be treated fairly to do it. I'm not going to jump at any given thing for nothing. I'm a professional athlete. I need to be paid for what I do, and I need to be paid fairly. So.
And does this next fight tick all those boxes, proving that you're world level and getting your titles, if it comes off?
Yeah, 100%, yeah. It's a lot more than a Terri rematch anyway.
Is it fair to say it could be the biggest fight of your career?
It'd be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely would be one of them. In my pro career, definitely, yeah.
Right, I'm not pushing anymore. I want to chuck a name at you that I've heard, Natasha, but I don't know if you're up for that.
Chuck a name, you can say whatever you want.
Katie Taylor?
I don't know what you want me to say.
Okay, I'll move on.
What I will say is that, so many times before I even have been phoned, called, messaged, whatever, social media has a way of letting me know who I'm fighting before I do. Yeah. Some of them I've worked out and some of them blatantly haven't, but I don't know who it is out there that finds it out or puts it out there, but they have a way of either getting me a fight or telling me I'm fighting before I'm fighting. So
I know, and good luck trying to pin that back, because once that name goes out there, it just goes wild, doesn't it, on social media, and you never find out where it started.
I had people phoning me saying, "You're fighting Ed Hardy." I was like, I'm not. And they were like, "No, you are. Twitter says you are." I'm like, well, Twitter can say what it wants, but I'm not.
Right, but just to draw a line under that one, it's a big fight, and it'll be something that if you get through, will tick all your ambitions, Natasha. Yeah,
1,000,000%.
Brilliant. Can I ask you a wider question on women's boxing? Just how far do you think it's come in the last couple of years?
I mean, when I left the amateurs, I basically said goodbye to boxing, because for us here in this country, there wasn't a scene, not one that you could probably make profitable and leave your job for. And, I am quite close to Jane Couch, and listening to their stories, it wasn't something that I really wanted to be involved in either. Now, there's opportunities out there, and the scope to do well and to be a household name is huge. And we've come such a long way, but there is still a long way to go. There
is indeed.
You can't deny the fact that there is females now that are being seen on screen. People want to see where their career goes. Their fights are brilliant, and that's. We always kind of knew how good women's boxing was. We just needed the world and the platform to see it. And now that we've got that opportunity, we need to ride the crest of the wave that we've got and keep improving and keep making it better and keep questioning and keep breaking down barriers and putting the best fights on and making sure they're the best ones seen.
Absolutely. We got on really well with Jane Couch. How big was her role, do you think, in all of this? When you go back 20 odd years and the fight that she had to get women's boxing even put on the map at all?
exactly. That, and that's the bottom line. If there is no Jane Couch, there is no us. I don't know if anyone else. I mean, I can't say that for facts, but I don't know if anyone else could, do what she did and have them fights that the fights that she fought with the board. And not many people like to stand up and be the first to do that. And she did. And because of that, everything else after was possible. I remember actually being a young girl playing football and reading it. And obviously I had nothing to do with boxing at the time, but I was thinking to myself, good on you, girl, well done. Like, it's boss that. And then all them years later, I didn't realise how much it would affect me.
Yeah. No, she's definitely a pioneer. Last one on the wider picture, Natasha. I saw you recently say that one fight that you would like to see in women's boxing was Claressa Shields against Savannah Marshall. Again, Savannah's somebody we know well. Why is that the one fight you would want to see, and who wins?
It's just blatantly obvious why I want to see it. The two of the best at their weight, and there's history, and it's a good sell for female boxing. And if you would have asked me this question maybe a year ago, I'd have said Claressa. After Sav's last performance, and just I went down to the gym. Obviously, I've been doing bits of work for the Zone on the commentary team, so I went there to see Hughie Fury, and obviously Sav was in the gym training, and Sav never needed like a skills coach because she's got the best assets and all the boxing knowledge in the world. She's been a world champion, been Europeans, been to Olympics. She's got the skills. She needs like a mind coach, like guidance, and I think he does that for her. I think he's brilliant in the gym. She's comfortable. She's back performing at Sav at her best, and I think Sav at her best is hard for anybody to beat, and that includes Claressa. I don't think now. I don't think Claressa wins.
She hits like a mule, Savannah, as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, power. Yeah. I mean, I remember sparring her once, and well, we always used to spar in GB anyway, but I remember getting out of the spar, and for days I had a banging headache because she punches that hard. And I think some of the lads that we spar on the camps, the likes of Vala, they all second that she can punch.
Yeah. Last word with you. If we're seeing you out and around about the May time, Natasha, what's the plans for you? Because you're always in the gym. We noticed that on Instagram and when we follow Joe. So what's the plans for you over the next 6, 8, 10 weeks?
Just carry on. I think the plan was always to we do stay in the gym. We took over. I'm not saying we'll buy our weight or anything like that, but we're always fighting, kind of ready. And that was always going to be the plan, just in case. You don't wish a failed test on anyone, but if that's the case, then we'll be ready to jump in the place if needed. But now it's just heads down, knuckle down, 2 dates that are there, and we've got to be ready for both of them. Well,
wish you the best of luck, Natasha. Look forward to seeing you back in the ring.
Nice.
I don't know if it's something that you want, but if your next fight's anything less like your last fight, we're all in for a treat. Yeah,
I mean, I think, there's people going to say, oh, that was the best performance. I've seen some things that Macklin was saying it already again. And I was like, oh, surely you learned from last time. Do you know what I mean? And the more people write me off, the more motivation it gives me. And that's I've spent my whole life and my whole career surpassing the views and the thoughts that people think I should be and who they want me to be and where they thought I could go. And I've spent a whole lifetime and a career going past that and proving people right and other people wrong. So the more they say I can't, the more I'll say, watch, we'll see. Which is exactly my whole phrase throughout the Harper camp was, we'll see. And that was, on the night you did.
We can't wait to see it. As much for Joe's antics as well, because that was a highlight of the last one, wasn't it? Joe against Steffi.
Joe, I mean, like, he's like Marmite. When Joe on your team is like, he's the guy you want on your side. He does everything that he does is for us, is for the boxer mainly. And, you know, he gets a lot of stick for it, but he's willing to take it because, you know, everyone was saying, oh, the pressure's on, this is, you know, career-ending defeat if she loses. And by the time the fight came, no one was actually talking about me. Everyone was talking about Joe and Steffi. No one was really, some people maybe was talking about Terri, but there was about him in here, and all the pressure was taken off me, and he played an absolute blinder, and people were falling for it and saying, he's this, he's that, he's that. But really, he just took all the pressure off me, and you know, it showed in the performance. And yeah, he's always got something up his sleeve. Even sometimes I laugh because I don't know what's coming. There's certain things I do, but there's other things that I don't. And when he does them, I'm just like, you know, I just laugh because I know what it's about. But people like take it to heart and take it on board and like, oh, he's this, he's that. But I know when it comes to, you know, everything we do in the gym, we have every base covered. I know, you know, when it comes to outside of boxing, he's got my best interest at heart, and you know, he's in my corner 100%, and that's what you want from a coach. And I know my family and my mum and my dad appreciate that as well.
Can't ask for any more, Natasha, can you?
Exactly. And my little girl as well. My little girl thinks she's his number two. She stands over me, counting me reps and giving me water in between rounds, and yeah, she thinks she's his number two.
Class. Well, hopefully we'll have something to celebrate by the end of May, Natasha.
100%.
Joy to speak to you as ever. I'll let you go because I know the Blues are on the telly and you'll be dying to watch them.
Not quite. But yeah, the baby's bribes can stop now.
All right, Natasha Jonas, lovely to speak to you.
Thank you.
Take care.